I have to be honest with you, when it came to picking this week's Decoded, it was hardly a discussion. For the next few years or perhaps even the next decade, May in Northeast India will only remind us of one thing: the Manipur violence. Manipur was never the first state that came to our minds when we talked about peaceful states in the Northeast. Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, and even Mizoram to a certain extent have been much more peaceful than Manipur. I mean, in 2022, we made a documentary about the horrors suffered by common citizens due to political violence in the run-up to the elections. But even by Manipur standards, what started in May 2023 has broken the state and hurt it in ways few could have imagined. I'm Kalyan Deb, and as Manipur violence marks 2 years, we try to explain how and if Manipur can ever get back to being the Manipur we knew. Pursuing for months.
A village of Assam
In the 75th Independence Day,
I will keep this chapter short because, let us be honest, if you have been following the Manipur violence or have a basic clue of what has happened, I will not lie. As the only non-local journalist on that fateful night in Churachandpur, I assumed it was a law and order problem. Little did I, or for that matter anyone, know that what happened on May 3 would start the worst form of violence that the Northeast has witnessed in decades. Civilians killing civilians, insurgents killing insurgents, and civilians and the entire state machinery divided on ethnic lines. You were no longer a police officer, you were a Kuki officer or a Meitei officer. You were no longer a teacher or a doctor or a MLA or for that matter even human. You were a Kuki, a Meitei and little else. Over the past 2 years, the sheer acts of violence and the horror stories that we have heard is simply too much for us to talk about in this episode. All said and done, neither Meiteis nor Kukis have emerged victorious because when common people fight each other, no one wins. The fact that there are thousands of people still in relief camps shows that those who had the least have lost the most. And for them, I doubt if hearing that somebody else is getting killed is comforting at all. As things stand, over 200 people have been murdered, at least officially. Thousands remain in relief camps. Communities are no longer closer to any kind of reconciliation, and the center seems more interested in ensuring their political futures. More on that later in this episode. Let me be very clear, the president's rule is always the last resort when it comes to administration. I mean, think about it. We spend thousands of crores of rupees on elections. We stand in line to support our leaders of choice and they are given a strong mandate to rule. Efficient state governments mean an efficient national government and an efficient nation. It may sound a tad uncomfortable now, but there was a time Biren Singh could do no wrong. He won the 2022 elections handsomely, ensuring a full majority for the BJP alone, and by the time he formed his government, the National Democratic Alliance had 55 of the 60 MLAs in the state. Yes, 55. And yes, that included Kuki MLAs too, which makes sense because at least till May 2023, Biren Singh acted like he was the CM of the entire state, and rightly so. So when violence began, even as opposition parties started screaming for president's rule, the centre paid no attention to their demands. Soon, it also became clear that beyond making statements, they did not care about Manipur at all. Our PM Modi ji's trust in Biren Singh was so strong that no amount of suffering of people or even the helplessness of the Indian Army mattered to him. Last year, one of our Decoded episodes showed clearly how the Indian Army had been turned into a scapegoat just to ensure that the Biren Singh government remained intact. When President's rule was implemented, it was not because Modi ji suddenly started caring for the people of Manipur. It was because the revolt within the NDA and even the BJP became so clear that the option was either to see the government fall or save face by implementing President's rule. So President's rule it was. Now let us be clear, the first thing that the President's rule did was bring a near end to violence in the state. I say this with some sense of happiness that at least for the past 2 months, our news feed is not littered with death reports from Manipur. The governor's call for a surrender of arms was initially touted as a PR stunt by many, but it paid dividends. At the time of recording this video, Manipur, at least on surface, seems the calmest it has been in recent times. And that is a welcome change. Okay, this is where the good news ends. We are unfortunately no closer to even talks of reconciliation because the pain among both communities remains too fresh for now. Both communities are marking May 3 in their own ways, but worryingly, they are not marking it together. Leaders from both communities are more focused on using May 3 to further their demands, which of course they justify, but the center is unlikely to pay to their demands now given how it has ignored the demands until now. Take one of the most important demands made by the Meitei leaders, an end to the SOO agreement with Kuki insurgents. Has it happened? No. Why? Simply because the center does not feel it is a demand worthy of entertaining. Now look at the separate administration demand by Kuki groups. 2 years ago we said this and we will say it again. It will not happen. That is not how things work. Watch this video where we explain this issue in detail. The path to justice has never been easy and it will certainly not be the case in Manipur. Communities will have to ask the strongest and hardest questions to their own leaders first. Leaders who have happily watched common people suffer to ensure their political safety. The recent demand for the return of a popular government by 21 MLAs is not because they care for the people. It is because they do not want Biren Singh to return because they are well aware that elections are less than 2 years away and they need to act now. And let us not forget, Kuki or Meitei, no MLA has left their position. No MLA has stopped receiving salary. Remember Paulenlal Haukip, the Kuki MLA who has led the demand for separate administration? He is still a BJP leader, just like Biren Singh. Just look at this tweet that still exists on his Twitter page. Make no mistake, they do not care about the people of Manipur. If there is one thing that has become very clear in the past 2 years, it is that neither the state leaders nor the central leaders care for people. For them, Manipur can burn as long as their political careers benefit from it.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.